jigsaw puzzle. For some, there are more pieces. For others, the puzzle is more difficult to assemble. Some seem to be born with nearly a completed puzzle, and so it goes, souls going this way and that, trying to assemble the myriad parts. But know this, no one has within themselves all the pieces to their puzzle. Like before the days when they used to seal jigsaw puzzles in cellophane, ensuring that all of the pieces were there. Everyone carries with them at least one, and probably many pieces to someone else's puzzle. Sometimes they know it, and sometimes they don't. And when you present your piece, which is worthless to you, to another, whether you know it or not, whether they know it or not, you are a messenger from the Most High, Rabbi Lawrence Kirshner. I used to have this poem on my refrigerator door, you know, back when you could actually put magnets on refrigerator doors. And it always was a very powerful and meaningful poem to me. However, I finally truly understood this poem only about 2 months ago. So I have been a congregant at Temple Beth Abraham, where you are sitting, for about 20 years. I was the director of education here for about 13 years. It was a job I gave my blood, my sweat, my tears, my soul to, and then I decided to leave the position. After many conversations, some only in my head and some actually with other people, I decided that it was time to embark on a new journey. And so, about 11 months ago, I had my last day. And it's been hard, because I'm still a congregant, and I'm involved on a volunteer basis, so I'm in the building all of the time, but my role has somewhat shifted. And when I run into parents or kids in the building, they're not quite sure how to react to me, and I'm not quite sure what to do with them. The decision was absolutely the right one, but it has carried with it an undeniable emotional weight as I have tried to navigate who am I when I am in the Temple Beth Abraham building. About 2 months ago, I was at a temple event that began with a dinner. About 100 people in the room, and I keep noticing this man who is looking at me. And I look at him, but I don't recognize him. But I'm thinking, he keeps looking at me, and every time I look up, he is watching me. I look at his kids. I think, I'm the director of education, surely I'd recognize his kids, right? Nope, don't recognize them at all either. So I kind of leave it alone. Services start, I walk out to go get some song sheets, and I turn around, and presto, there he is. Well, now that he's about 2 feet from me, I put out my hand, and I say, hi, my name is Pam Barkley. He shakes my hand, he introduces himself, and he says, I'm curious, who are you? Now, I'm thinking, did he not hear me? Like everyone always hears me. But all right, so I say my name again. My name is Pam Barkley. He says, no, no, no. I mean, who are you here? I've been watching. You are clearly someone who is very loved. I cannot overstate how much that comment meant to me. It was as if in one instant this man, this stranger, was able to define exactly who I am when I am in the Temple Beth Abraham building. I am no longer the director of education, but I am not an average congregant. I am someone who is loved. This person, this stranger, was able to define my role in a way that I had been unable to do for 11 months, and I am so grateful that I was able to receive that piece of my puzzle. And see, that's the big ball of magic to me, right? I'm sure all of you can think of a time in your lives where someone said something to you and it has stuck with you all this time. Whether that's a month ago or years ago, it has stayed with you. Maybe you told them, maybe you didn't, but it's still with you somehow. I'm reminded of a story a friend of mine told me in social work school. She was walking down the street in New York City and saw this woman who was all elegantly dressed with a beautiful outfit and matching shoes and a handbag and a fabulous hat. And for a reason she could not even begin to explain, she felt compelled to go over to this woman on the streets of New York City and say to her, I just want you to know, you look great. The woman in the hat turned to her, stunned, and said, you have no idea what your comment means to me. 7th week of chemotherapy, and I have been feeling really run down and really tired, and I decided that it's a ritual of mine now that every time I go to chemo, I'm going to dress up to try and make myself feel better. I'm on my way there now. Thank you. You have no idea. You have made my month. Quite the puzzle piece, right? Now, I know that many of you probably think to yourself, oh yeah, that's one of those big stories, you know, I don't have a puzzle piece like that for someone, that's one of those once-in-a-lifetime things, right? Well, first of all, how do you know you don't? Maybe you do. And even if not, you've all seen jigsaw puzzles, right? The pieces come in different shapes and sizes. And all of them, the big ones and the small ones, are important for completing the puzzle. The point is that as our world becomes more globally connected, it is our personal interactions with friends, with acquaintances, and yes, even strangers that matter more and more. Consider this for a moment. The average person has 338 friends on Facebook, 101 connections on LinkedIn, 265 followers on Instagram. If, like me, you're not good at mental math, that adds up to 704 people. 704. I don't know, I see a number like 704, and I am exhausted, right? I can't even find time to meet my friend for a cup of coffee, and I'm supposed to keep up with 704 people? But maybe those people in Cyberland need to be put over here for the moment. Those are not the people I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people we actually speak to in person or on the phone. I actually tried to find some statistics on this. I tried to find statistics on how many people does the average person interact with on a given day. I couldn't find anything, and I really tried. And I'm pretty good at this. Couldn't find anything. You want digital data? You want to know how many 14-year-olds are born in November, drink Diet Coke, and are on Instagram? You can find those statistics. You could not find anything about how many people we talk to on the phone or interact with in person on a daily basis. So I decided to look at my own life and the lives of the people around me. Turns out I talk to a lot of people every day. From my neighbor who I walk by with my dog every morning, to my mom I talk to on the phone, or the people I talk to at work, or the vendors I speak to because I'm at work, or the friend I finally do meet for that cup of coffee, or the friend that friend runs into who I get introduced to while I'm meeting for that cup of coffee. I talk to a lot of people every day, and chances are, so do all of you. But what do those interactions look like? Well, if I'm being honest, most of the time it's a, hi, how are you? As I walk by my neighbor's house walking my dog. Or nice to meet you, to the friend's friend at the diner. But what if those interactions could be more? What if the friend's friend at the diner is a total Snoopy fanatic just like me and knows about this fabulous Snoopy festival that's happening upstate that otherwise I never would have gotten to know about? That's a true fact, by the way. Total Snoopy fanatic. So if you know anything about any of them, please come find me. The point is, if I leave that diner with just a nice to meet you, I will never find that out. Is that the biggest puzzle piece in the world? No. But it is a puzzle piece nonetheless. And I think we do this all the time. We leave pieces on the table everywhere we go. Unborn connections that could have helped us and that could have helped the other person. My solution to this is something that I've come to think of as radical curiosity. I walk around wanting to know people. I walk around talking to people and asking them questions and having them give me answers and asking them more questions. I want to know what's inside their head and get to know them. This is not prying. This is authentic curiosity about the other. It is also not about when you're under duress. That's something different, right? God forbid you or a loved one are sick. You are out there trying to talk to people to find out the right doctors and the right hospitals and the right medicines and all of that. Or if you lose a job, the first thing everybody will tell you is network, network, network. And so you're out there talking to people. But that is entirely different. That is doing it under duress. That is not the same as authentic and radical curiosity. So what does radical curiosity mean? It means asking questions of the person in front of you. And moreover, really listening to their answers. Like the old-fashioned way, looking them in the eye and nodding and letting them know that you understand what they are saying to you. You know what is the best part, though, about radical curiosity? Every single person in this room can do it. You do not need to have gone to an Ivy League school. You do not need to have attended a week-long conference. You do not need to read a book. And you do not need to even just hang out on a webinar for a day. Every person in this room has the ability to be radically curious about the people they meet every single day. We need to train ourselves, our whole beings, our eyes, our ears, our souls, to see the puzzle pieces that are out there, waiting to be discovered and waiting to be unlocked. And you may be just the person to do it, maybe even the only person. So a challenge to all of you. What would it take to walk around for a day seeking to share in this way? What would it mean if the next break we have, you walked around talking to people with the idea in your head that you may have a puzzle piece for someone else, or they might have one for you? Can you imagine how different those conversations might be from the ones you maybe had when you walked in here this morning grabbing a cup of coffee? Yes, I firmly believe there are puzzle pieces all over this room. Your job is to now go out there and